Hello everyone, it's Dio from Firm Affair Gaming, bringing you another World of Warcraft video. Welcome to another weekly video in our Mythic Plus series here, where we review the affixes that you're going to be facing in the week to come. Next week is going to be a Tyrannical week, and we are lucking out and we win Sanguine and Storming. So of course Sanguine is when a non-boss enemy dies, they drop a pool of Sanguine onto the ground, looks like a pool of blood, and if you stand in it you take damage, but the more impactful part of it is if non-boss enemies, or I guess even boss for that matter, if you pull trash onto the boss, any enemy that is in the Sanguine will heal for a portion of their life every second that it is in it, and it only takes a few seconds for the mob to heal all the way back to full health. So you do not want anything to be stuck in the Sanguine, so you don't want to stun anything on there, otherwise they'll heal up. And so there's going to be some kiting involved. On top of that, it is a Storming week, and so Storming, of course, while in combat, enemies periodically summon whirlwinds, and this is a melee issue. So, and the thing to remember on this is when the whirlwinds spawn, they either go clockwise or counterclockwise. So all you need to do is identify which way the particular whirlwind storming is going, and then just follow it around, and you can navigate around it, and you will be perfectly fine. For the tanks, basically what we want to do is we want to keep trash on the move when they're about to die. We don't really want to stun a mob that's not going to die while other mobs are going to die, because then that mob will be stunned into Sanguine and we'll heal up. So once things start to get close to death, we want to kind of kite them around so that the Sanguine is kind of pooled and you don't really have anything sitting on top of it, because again, they'll get healed up. For the Storming, if you can, if it's not really going to impact you, you can try to move into it or let it hit you, because once it hits you, then it kind of disappears. But ultimately, you just want to identify the path the Storming is taking and kind of do your part to just move around and not get hit by it. But just be careful with some trash that it's not ones that cleave or does AoE, because you don't want to accidentally hit your DPS or your healer. So just keep that in mind. So it's going to be another kind of movement week where you're starting to kite and just kind of moving the trash around. But ultimately, as long as you don't get things stuck on Sanguine, it's not that big of an issue. Moving on to the heals. So healers, basically, if possible, we want to knock the mobs out of Sanguine. That's if you actually have a knockback. Otherwise, just don't stand in the Sanguine. Keep in mind that Storming only spawns on melee, so if we can, we want to stay out of melee if possible. I know this is going to be a little bit harder for the melee healers, but do what you can. And then just keep in mind, if the Stormings are starting to spawn, you can probably easily afford to step out and throw out a few heals outside of the melee range. Or if you need to stay in there, just keep in mind that they have a set rotation, so if they're going to go clockwise, then just keep that in mind and stay out of the way of it, and you should be good to go. Yeah, and then that's basically all there is to it. It's a little bit of an easier heal week as it is Tyrannical, so the bosses are really the problem, not the trash. Lastly, for the DPS, so as kind of mentioned previously, we do not want to stun the mobs in Sanguine, and we do not want to stand in Sanguine. Obviously, if we stun a mob into the Sanguine, it's most likely going to heal up to full unless a party member has a knockback to knock it out of there. So keep in mind that if there's more than one mob that is going to die pretty close together, you may want to hold off on stunning it unless you're going to stun the mob that is going to go down. So then you stun it a little bit in advance so the tank has time to kite away from the Sanguine that's about to drop. But you have to be 100% certain that the mob you're going to stun is the one that's going to die, because you don't want another mob to die, drop the Sanguine, and now that mob is stunned in the Sanguine, and it's going to heal to full. And also, as mentioned previously, Storming, they either go clockwise or counterclockwise, so just keep an eye on the Storming as they spawn, and then you can just kind of keep in front of it or get behind it, and then you should be good to go. So just watch for that and do what you need to do to stay out of it. Some people will have the storming fail counters and it'll show how many you get hit by. So we want to try to be hit by as little as possible, especially when it can knock you up and then you are exposed to other mechanics when you may need to move. And that could be detrimental to your progression and all that sort of stuff. So just keep that in mind and you should be good to go. That being said, the tip of the week is kind of like Dory, you know, just keep swimming, just keep moving, just keep moving. So once we start to kite the trash around, just keep moving, stay out of the Sanguine, stay out of the way of the stormings, and you should be good to go. It should be, I think it should be a decent push week compared to the ones that we have been enduring lately. Sanguine, if managed correctly, is almost a non-factor. So basically, I think it should be a decent push week, definitely compared to the ones that we've been facing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're able to get a lot better keys than we have in the past. I know last week was particularly challenging and there seems to be a tank shortage, so maybe this will help bring them back. Hope you guys have fun out there. There is a big patch tomorrow. I think the game is supposed to be down for about 8 hours. So I hope you guys have good luck in your vaults and get all the loot that you're looking for. As always, we appreciate any likes and subscribes. If you have any comments or questions, please let us know below. Good luck out there and have fun next week. And keep in mind, don't forget, patch 915 is supposed to come out on November 2nd. So a lot of stuff will come when that happens. So good luck, everybody, and we'll catch you next week.